Good morning to all. I am Geeta, Assistant Professor from ECE Department, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I am going to handle the subject on communication engineering. So now I am going to discuss about the topic on code tree of convolutional encoder. So first, what is meant by code tree of convolutional encoder? So on completion of code tree of convolutional encoder, the students will be able to define code tree, define code trellis, define state diagram. So code tree of convolutional encoder, where the code tree, this will be stored at a node A. If the output of bit is 1, then the path of the tree goes down towards node B and the output all. Otherwise, if the input m is equal to 0 at the node A, so the tree goes upward towards the node A. So the output is 0, 0. Similarly, depending upon the input message bit, the path of the tree goes upward or downward. The node or marked with their A, B, C and D. On the path between two nodes, the output are shown. So we have the path of the code tree for the first 3 bit is 110. So this is the code tree of the convolutional encoder. So in that thing, we found that the branch begins to repeat after third bit. So this will be shown in figure. So the repetition starts third bit. Since any message bit is stored in the shift register of the encoder for shift, if the length of the shift, this will be registered in increased by 1 bit, then the pattern tree will repeat after fourth message bit. Then this is the diagram for the code trellis. So where the code trellis is the compact representation of the code tree. So we know that the mode tree, there are 4 nodes. Every state to some other state upon the input trellis represent an unique diagram for transition. So the node on the left 4 possible current and those on the right represent next state. So the solid transition line, this will be represent m is equal to 0, and broken line, this will be represent the input m equal to 1. So along which the transition line, the output V1 and V2, this will be represented during the transition. So the encoder, we are having the current state of A. So if the output m is equal to 0, the next state will be A with output V1 and V2 equal to 1, 1. So in this way, we have to represent the code tree in the code trellis. Then state diagram. So coming to the state diagram, that is, we have to consider that the encoder in state A. So if input m is equal to 0, the next state is same, that is A, that is 0, 0, with output V1 and V2 equal to 0, 0. So the cell flow loop at a node A in the state diagram, if input m equal to 1, so then the state diagram shows the next state is B. So where the output is V1 and V2 equal to 1, 1. Then the decoding methods of convolutional codes. Viterbi algorithm for decoding of convolutional codes. So we have to represent the received signal by Y. So the convolutional encoding, this will be operating continuously on input data. So here there is no code vectors and block. So we have to assume the transmission error probability of symbols ones and zeros is same. So in that way, we have to define our integer value metric as follows. Then what is meant by metric? It is a discrepancy between the received signal Y and the decoded signal for the particular node. So the metric can be added over the few nodes for the particular path. Then surviving path. So this is the path of the decoded signal with minimum metric. So the decoding metric is assigned to each surviving path, that is the metric of nodes along that path. So here we are having some advantages about the code tree of the convolutional encoder. So the decoding delay is small in convolutional codes since they operate on smaller block of code data. The storage hardware required by convolutional encoder is less since the block size are small. The synchronization problems does not affect the performance of the convolutional codes. Then disadvantages. The convolutional code, this is very difficult to analyze since their analysis is complex. The convolutional codes are not developed much compared to blocks. The quiz questions based on the code tree of convolutional encoder is the measure of the amount of redundancy is given by dash. Thank you.